Lindy Li, big operative for the Democrats. She's a big op. She was on with Sean Ryan. Now, if you don't know who she is the lady that's been out there for the last couple of weeks trying to CYA herself a little bit, but only because the Democrats left her hanging. She was the ultimate, and I do mean the ultimate when it came to raising the money. She was the star of the show. She brought the PACs together. She had the big donors together. She was working the phone. She's not working the phone for, hey, I'd like to give to Kamala or Joe, and I'd like to give a few dollars. She's not working those phones. She's working the phones where like, hey, how about $5 million for this super PAC over here? That's the kind of stuff she was doing. She's on the inner circle, and she saw some stuff, and she started getting nervous.
What was it that you saw? What did you see that was getting ridiculous?
I would be at private events, and he would have a teleprompter at private events with like 10 people. This was not a major speech. And at private events where everybody wanted him to succeed. It wasn't an aggressive crowd. This was like a crowd of his top donors. Not only that, you would have Jamie Harrison, the DNC chair, pre-selecting questions and telling the rest of us basically to shut up. We weren't allowed to talk. And confiscating our phones.
Confiscating the phones. How scary is that? So that's the guy who was running the DNC at the time. So you think about this, right? Like if, imagine you're giving a speech in a room, like a dining room at somebody's house. And that's a wealthy house. It's a little bit bigger than a regular dining room. There's only 10 people there. These are people that know him. These are people that have given money. This isn't, you've got a teleprompter. Because he can't, you dog face, sonny, pony. Was Corn Pop there? I mean, that's the, he's like, he's that gone.
Give me a break.
I would. And I remind everybody, 1 year ago, he had the opportunity to give a one-on-one sit down for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is, you're going to have the most eyes.
And that's sort of become a tradition before the game, right?
It has. You're going to have all the eyes on you. Trump had that. You're going to have a situation where you're going to be able to have a friendly bunch of people asking you questions. So the way it works is if you're at Fox, right, and they're hosting the Super Bowl, yesterday, Brett Baer. So next year, if it's NBC or CBS or ESPN or whoever, I don't even know, Netflix, whoever ends up getting it, they're going to be able to have whoever is their news person give the interview. He turned it down. That was the first time that I think people went, something's wrong here. Like people started a little questioning of maybe there is a little something to this insanity. Maybe there is a little something. But nope, they just kept doing their thing. And lo and behold, it started to fall apart. Then it was the night. So they give we all recognize how horrible the night was for him. And it was awful. And that's when people started to go, oh my God. Right? This is even after Obama, even after George Clooney, because that was also a big deal. But when everything started to fall apart, they were even lying to him. And a lot of that had to do with the likes of Jill Biden, not a licensed medical professional, the good doctor, and Hunter Biden, because they didn't want to lose power. They didn't. They wanted to hold on to that power as long as they can. So when you hear people yell, I didn't vote for Elon Musk. I didn't vote for such and such and so and so. No, you didn't. But I didn't vote for Hunter to be running the security meetings.
Oh, so I should also mention that after the debate, Hunter basically commandeered the White House. He sat in on all the White House top-level meetings. You had a former cocaine addict sitting in on the most sensitive meetings of the most consequential and important government in world history. Without security clearance, mind you. No security clearance. That's who was basically running the show. So Hunter basically battened down the hatches after the debate to make sure that his father would only receive intel that he pre-approved.
Wait a minute here. I didn't vote for Hunter Biden. Nobody voted for Hunter Biden. Nobody.
You
did.
want to get high?
Yeah, he said yes.
Sorry, that's my Hunter Biden drop.
It is. That's him right there. I can marvel at the fact that he's still alive. And I wish him, by the way, only the best. Anybody who's ever gone through addiction, I don't want him to have any more issues. I can wish him only the best. But that being said, that guy lived a life. I mean,
And has the kid to show for it.
He does. I mean, he should have. I mean, the fact that he's alive is amazing. But I didn't vote for him. What about Jill?
Jill Biden, she was president. I was with Joe and Jill the night of the debate. I was at their VIP debate watch party. I slept all the way to Atlanta, Georgia for that, to show my support. So that night, I was with Joe, and Jill takes Joe by the hand on stage, and she's like, Joe, you knew all the facts. You answered all the questions. And you know that hand gesture that she does. And I'm thinking, you're treating him like a first grader. You know, like just because he, you know, like you shouldn't applaud him for doing the basics. And you could just tell that she was fighting for dear life to hold on to the vestige of power. And just a few days later, she was on the cover of Vogue. So the whole thing was a Jill Biden show. She was not as authentic as Joe, I want to say. I think as Joe got older, maybe you think I'm naive in saying this, but I'm not even sure if he remembers all of the corruption that he engaged in.
No, I don't think so. I think that as they talk a little bit more in that Sean Ryan's podcast with Lindy Li. Now, Lindy Li, she was a big-time Democrat fundraiser. And I'm talking, she helped raise the billions. She goes on to talk about all of the lies from the people that, you know, were paid to show up. They didn't even want to show up unless they got paid. Beyonce needed money, I guess, to show up. You were literally paying for their endorsements. She talked about, could you imagine if Sean Hannity got $500,000 to do an interview with Trump? Because that's what happened with Reverend Al Sharpton and Joe Biden. I mean, these are the things that happen. Nobody voted for any of these people to run anything. And she also talked about the fact that it was like a frat house. The millennials and the Gen Zers were running everything. They were only putting their friends on the diary to get into the place. So they said it was a nightmare. Whoa, wait a minute here. None of us voted for that. No, we didn't. So when you hear these people go, this is it. It's the worst thing ever. It's awful.